8th of March, Rabbi Furst, Pierke Avos. Shalom Aleichem, Rabbi Umari.
Okay, Shalom, good morning. Good morning, Barry. Good morning, Roy. Good morning, Liza. How's everyone today?
Good morning,
Baruch
Rabbi.
Hashem.
Baruch Hashem. Thank you.
Barry is muted because he's got a bunch of children running around in his background.
Oh, okay. That's good news. That's good news. Baruch Hashem. Children should be busily occupied. Baruch Hashem.
Not complaining.
Very good. Okay, good morning. This is Rabbi Shlomo Furst here. You see the Samanavshi here in Yerushalayim Care of Zoom. This is our first year in the morning. We're learning Pierke Avos along with Megilla Esther. We're now in the third parak of Megilla Esther. Ostir Yud Aleph. Ostir Aleph. Any volunteers to do some reading?
Go for it, Barry. Again, it's too much background noise.
We don't hear a
Guys will
thing
have to
now.
listen.
We don't hear a thing now.
It's because he's muted. All right, should I read?
Go ahead, Lou.
Yeah.
Okay, 11. So that would be call of day Hamelech Va'am.
Right.
Which
What
parak are we doing?
what pasuk are we on?
Yud Aleph. Vayomer HaMelech LeHaman.
There we go.
On 3.
Oh, wait a second. I think I'm in the wrong chapter.
Uh-huh.
Vayomer Hamelech LeHaman. Is that it?
Much better.
we did-
Much better.
We did that yesterday, though. I'm just saying.
We're just getting it. We're getting a
It's
running
always
start.
really good. So the king said to Haman, "A kesef." Oh no, we said we were going to redo this because my question was about the kesef being whether he took the kesef or not. Natun lach. The kesef is given to you. The ha'am la'asos bo kitov be'enecha, and the nation, referring to the Jews, do with them what is good in your eyes. So I understand this to mean that Hachashverosh said, you can keep your money. I don't want the money. I'm just happy to have you go ahead and take care of the Jews.
All right. Good. So there's a lot of discussion about what this transfer of money was exactly, and I'm not. I don't think it's going to take. I think too much time to go into the different opinions that I saw about it right now. So let's leave it. And if I have more of a chance to look into it, I'll try and give a clarification, which will be succinct, I think. But right now, let's leave what actually happened with the money, whether it was received and given back, or they also.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's go to the next pasuk.
Vayikra'u Sofrei Hamelech. So they called the scribes of the king. B'chodesh Harishon, in the first month, Bishlosha Asar, on the 13th day, Yom, day, Bo, of it, Vayichasev Kasav Asher Tziva Haman, and they wrote that which was told to them to write by Haman. El Achashdar Pene Hamelech, according to the officials of the king, the El Hapachos, and more officials. It says satraps and governors. I'm not sure what a satrap is.
A satrap is a provincial governor in the ancient Persian Empire.
Oh,
Okay, thank you, Roy. Very good.
and what's a governor?
A governor is an ancient satrap.
Al Medina, Umadina, for each and every country. Ve'el Sarei Am Va'am, and to the leader of each and every nation. Medina, nation and county, I guess. Medina, in every county. Ki Sava v'am, and they wrote it to each and every nation. Kilashono, in their language. B'shem Hamelech, in the name of the king Achashverosh. Nichtav, it was written, v'nichtav, and sealed, b'taba'as Hamelech, with the seal of the king.
Okay, so that's the writing of the Gezer. This is the Gezer's Haman, all right?
Right.
Okay, so
Seems
now,
awfully wordy.
excuse me?
It seems awfully wordy. The governors and the satraps and the each and every providence and each and every ruler and all the people and every providence according to his writing and every people according to their language. It goes on and on and on.
Well, did you ever get a letter from the government?
Unfortunately, yes.
They also go on and on and on.
Why say in one word when you can take 12?
Right. Just say he wrote a letter and sent it.
Right. Well,
His life.
Yeah, but when you're trying to eliminate an entire nation of people, you got to be very, very specific because you want to get rid of everybody.
yes, this is a royal command, so you have to make sure. I think Barrow is on the right track here. You want to make sure that there's no one that can say, "Well, I didn't think he was talking. It was not referring to me." You know, that they want to make it very specific who it's being written to and who the decree is being ordered to be followed. So
They wanted everybody wiped out.
right. It was completely across the board. All aspects of the ruling authorities were involved with this decree. Yeah, I think so. Good. Okay, let's try the next puzzle. Yud Gimel.
Okay, V'nishloach Sifarim, and they sent the letters Biad Haratzim, in the hand of runners, El Kol Medinos, to every here it is again, to every province, Hamelech, of the king, Lahashmid, to destroy, Laharog, and to kill, Ula Abed, and to annihilate, El Kol HaYehudim, all of the
I think it's S Kol Yehudim.
Es Kol HaYehudim, all of the Jews, Minar, from the child, Va'al Zakain, Va'ad Zakain, up into the elderly person, Taf, infants, Benashim, and women, Biyom Echad, on one day, Bishalosha Asar, in the 13th Lechodesh of the month, name Asar, to the 20th of the month? Of the
12th month.
20,
of the 12th month.
the 13th, 13th Asr the Chodesh, the 13th of the Chodesh, Shnaim Asr Hu Chodesh Adar, meaning the 12th month, which is Chodesh Adar.
The 12th month, which is Chodesh Adar, Ushlalam Lavuz, and to take the spoil.
Right. Very good. So if you want, if you have your Sidurim there, you could take a look at the Alanisim that we say for Purim. This pasuk makes up the body of our Alanisim that we say on Purim. Just to take a look. I think it's almost word for word. We can try and compare it and see if it's in fact a word for word.
What about the Shemona Esra? Oops. Where is it on this thing?
Let's see what do you have here for Purim.
Oh, on page 115 is one Ohanesim, I think.
My book, it's 120. I'm using this standard
No.
system. So it says, I just read it in English.
You can, but if you want to compare the psukim, then we need to go compare it directly in the
Name
Hebrew.
Mordechai,
Oh,
the days of Mordechai and Esther, B'Shushan Habirah, and Shushan the capital, B'She'amad Alehem, when they stood up upon them, Haman, Harasha, the evil one, Bikesh, to destroy.
Here it starts after the word bikesh. So after the word bikesh begins I think it's almost the direct chord in this pasuk.
Okay, so let's see. It's we were on 13, I think.
Yes.
The Harog starts with the Harog. Ulabaid. Eskol Hayudim. I don't see the correspondence. Oh, here, Minar.
It's very clear, yeah.
Minar al Zakain. Okay, that's where it sinks. Taf Benashim Biyom Echad B'Shlosha Asar Lachodesh Shneim Asar Hu Chodesh Adar Ushlalam Lavuz. Okay, those are the same.
That's it.
That's the end.
That's it. See, it's a direct quote from this pasuk, from the words Hashmid, right? Hashmid Lahara and La'abed. And at this point, Lou, at this point you can ask, why? What's the Rika Slushin? What's the difference? Why do you have to repeat this 3 times? Right? The Hashmid, the Harug, La'abed. What's the difference between all these 3 expressions?
Right. So it's to destroy, to slay, and to exterminate.
You're right,
All the same, it's all the same thing.
basically, apparently. So, yeah, that's gonna need an explanation. What these three expressions are referring to.
It's also the babies. I mean, it's
Yeah,
every, right.
well,
I mean,
also, that's also, I mean, that's also a bit of a repetition. It's at Kol Yehudim. So once you say Kol Yehudim, what do you have to add? Minar va'atzake, Taf Menashim. What do you have to add those things for?
right, they wanted to be very clear that every single Jew had to be killed without exception, right? Isn't that the whole idea?
Yeah, I think
What
that's
what
definitely
about-
the emphasis.
What
So
about
those
the
are the-
What did you say, Roy? Go ahead, Roy.
what about the idea that it's past, present, and future? Destroy the past, slay them now, and exterminate their future. Make sure they don't come up again.
Could be. That's a possibility. That's a possibility.
Mhm.
It also shows the extent of their vicious, all the various ways of exterminating people. Shows how bad they were. They were Amalekis.
Well, I mean, were all the people that were going to be involved with this extermination Vlad Alamekis?
Why not? They were the bad guys.
What the French couldn't take care of it also? I mean, it was in all the Medinas, like people in that time, have to see if that corresponds historically. Whether the almost got mixed up, but Amalekims usually lived with Amalekims, right? And here the decree is going out with Kol Medina Medina, right? I mean, how many Amalekims do you think they're out in Japan at the time they're about?
All right, good point. To me, it shows the vicious. They didn't have to be Amalekis to be Rishaim.
Yeah. Okay, that's true. Didn't have to. That's true. They would maybe they were leading the pack, but they didn't necessarily have to be all alone in what they were trying to do. But so you're suggesting that the extra words here are to emphasize the extent of their hatred. Okay, I hear it. I can accept that. All right, let's go to the next pasuk. Pasuk Yudalid.
Okay, Yud Dalid. Pas Shegen Hakasav Lahina Tain. Okay, so let's see. A copy of the writing to be given Das Bechol Medina Umedina as a law to each and every province. The Louis, it was revealed L'chol Ha'amim, to all of the nations, Lihios Asidim, that they should be ready Liyom Hazeh, on this day.
So yeah, Pasuk and Pasuk they say Das Medina Gili call Emilios. So what is the meaning of this pasuk here? That
Well, they sent out many copies of the letter, and it was for the purpose of coordinating and synchronizing. Everybody would attack on the same day.
I think it also means that that they wrote it in all the different languages. It wasn't one document in one
Yeah, I mean,
language.
yeah, right. Well,
because it
wasn't that stated before? We stated that before already. No, it was B'chol Lashon B'Lashon. No.
Yeah, you're right. That's right.
There seems to be something that's there's an additional aspect that's being described to us over here. Just trying to understand what that aspect is exactly.
I think it means that the copies of the documents were, it says here, the copies of the documents were to be promulgated in every province and be published to all peoples, which means I think that copies were made and distributed amongst the whole population, mass leaflets.
Okay, very good. If you notice, this is the the original letters were sent out to the leaders, right? But now this is a public proclamation which is taking place here. So that's different. That's a different aspect than just letting the leaders know. But now it's becoming actual public. It has to become public knowledge that this is going to be a royal decree that has to be fulfilled. Okay, very good. Let's see Pasuk Tesvav.
V'haratzim yatz'u dechufim b'davar hamelech. And the runners went out quickly by the command of the king, according to the command of the king. Harat nitna b'Shushan, and the decree was given in Shushan Habirah, the capital. V'hamelech v'Haman yashvu lishtot, and the king and Haman sat to drink. V'ha'ir, and the city of Shushan Navocha, the city of Shushan, it says, was in consternation.
Right.
What does that mean?
Well,
they were upset about it.
well, they were bewildered about this, meaning that now that it says Ha'ir Shushan. It doesn't say the Jews in Shushan, right?
Right.
It says the Ir Shushan Nevucha, right? So that's it. 1 second. If it was the Jews, we could understand, but why should it be? Why should it be the?
I have a side note here. The strange haste in publishing a decree that would not be executed for 11 months was because Haman was afraid that the fickle king would have a change of heart. Also, he wanted to prolong the agony of the Jews throughout the kingdom by telling them of the impending massacre so far in advance.
So if that's the case, you see that Haman made a fatal mistake over here, right? Had he kept it quiet, right? Had he kept it quiet, then it might have been that there wasn't enough time for the Klal Yisrael to react properly. But here, since he gave them 11 months notice, So it was actually to our great benefit that he did that, because it was a chance for us to do tshuva properly. Right? Not only did we do tshuva immediately, because soon after this we'll see about the fast and the prayers and everything else that went into the tshuva that Klal Yisrael did. But had we had been surprised, we may not have had a proper tshuva. So and again, the question is why specifically the ear Shushan Nebuchadnezzar rather than just the Yehudim. So it could be, since it was a public proclamation about something that's going to take place so far in advance, even the non-Jews, the public was a bit bewildered about this whole situation.
There's a commentary that says that the governors, etc., the government people knew what the real
Come
reason
in.
was, but the second edict that was sent out to the general population didn't
One minute.
mention the murder, just to be ready for a certain day. So that's why they were perturbed. That's why the city was confused. They had instructions to get ready for a particular day, but they did not know.
Good. Okay. Very good. I accept that. Very good. Okay.
Wondering
Oh.
about the word Hamelech. It says V'Hamelech v'Haman yashvu lishtot. So is that implying that there was some kind of kiviyachol happiness on Hashem's part with the event?
Possibly, it could be a remez to the fact that the Kadosh Baruch Hu, now that the decree has been made public and there's actualization to the decree, so there could be some remez to the fact that the Kadosh Baruch Hu is, so to speak, directing the situation here in a way that he's going to eventually achieve the purpose that it was all intended for, and for in fact to the Klal Yisrael to do tshuva. So that could be a remez why it doesn't say specifically Achishverosh. Why didn't it say Melech Achishverosh for Haman? Right. So right. That would make sense. That could fit in. All right. Let's go to the next parak, Parak Dalet.
Okay. Mordechai yada es kol asher naaseh, and Mordechai knew everything that had happened. Now it says in my English when Mordechai knew. Is that accurate? When he knew?
Not sure. The word doesn't really lend itself to the actual Hebrew. It's not really there.
Right. Vayikra Mordechai es bigadav, and Mordechai tore his clothes. Vayilbash sak, and he wore sak is sackcloth.
Yes.
And ve'efer, and ashes. Vayetze, and he went out betoch ha'ir, into this midst of the city. Vayizak ze'aka gedolah umara. And he called out with a cry that was great and bitter.
Okay. There's just to reference something in Pirke Avos that relates to this. If you want to take a look in the fourth parak, that's in page 568.
Fourth parak, what Mishnah?
Mishnah Huff base 22.
Okay, Hu Haya Omer, he used to say, Yafa Sha'a Achas Bishuva. It's good an hour, 1 hour of tshuva, umaasim tovim, and good deeds, ba'olam, in this world, hazeh, ba'olam hazeh, this world, mikol chayei ha'olam haba, then all of the life of the world to come. V'yafa sha'a achas shel koras ruach, and it's good or it's beautiful, I guess, a 1 hour of koras ruach is spiritual pleasure b'olam haba, in the world to come, mikol chayei ha'olam hazeh, then I see. Because of the mikol, then it must be that yafeh means it's better than
right.
all the life of the world, of this world. So let me reread it. It's better 1 hour of repentance and good deeds in this world than all the life of the world to come, and it's better 1 hour of spiritual pleasure in the world to come than all the life of this world.
Right. Very good. Okay.
Does that conflict? Does it conflict? These two statements?
The two statements of Rabbi, no conflict at all. They're two different aspects. One, this world is created for tshuva and ma'asim tovim, and the next world's created for being nene meziva shechina. So we can't be nene from the ziva shechina in this world to almost an impossible extent, and in the next world we can't do tshuva, and we can't have any ma'asim tovim. So each place is essentially different. So it's not conflicting. It's just two different aspects. Like you could say that Colorado is good for skiing, and Miami Beach is good for water skiing, right? So they're two different they're two different places with two different aspects of enjoyment and a purpose. Purpose of this life is ma'asim tovim and tshuva, and the purpose of olam haba is being then from the ziva shechina.
But it's a little bit difficult to understand what it means when it says the life of the world to come and the life of this world. That seems to be all inclusive, everything. So it's like saying it's better to spend an hour surfing in Florida than everything you can do in Colorado. And it's better to spend an hour skiing in Colorado than everything you can do in Florida. It does seem to be, because of the word, the life, I'm having difficulty not seeing it as a contradiction.
Well, chai means like the experience, to be able to experience tshuva and ma'asim tov in this world is so great that it's incomparable to even the benefits of the next world. And on the other hand, the benefits of the next world are so great that they're incomparable to the benefits of this world.
Right.
Isn't the message that in the next world, we can't get any more credit? We've got our, list of credits that we got, and that's our life in the next world. We can't do anything more.
Exactly. The point is, it's the, this is the mimer of Rabbi Yaakov. So Rabbi Yaakov is trying to teach us how to make the most of both this world and the next, right? So we want to make the most. So therefore, so you have to know what the purpose of this world is, and you have to know what the purpose of the next world is. So by knowing that, you'll be able to focus your attention on doing what you're supposed to do to maximize your benefits, both from this world and from the next world. Now, if you want, I want you to take, if you have a Chumash Bereshis nearby, I want you to take a look at a pasuk in Toldos. In Bereshis, that's Perek Chav Zayin.
What pasuk?
Pasuk Lamed Daled. Pasuk Lamed Daled. That's Bereshis Chav Zayin. Pasuk Lamed Daled.
Okay, so Kishmoa,
Yes,
place.
that's right.
Kishmoa Esav es divrei aviv.
חיימוביץ'.
זה אתה חיימוביץ' אהרון?
Aaron, can you mute?
So when Esav heard his father's words, Vayitzak Tzika Gadolah, he cried out exceedingly, Umara, and bitter. He cried out an exceeding, great and bitter, greatly and bitterly. Al Ma'od, Ad Ma'od, even more so, and until very much. Vayomer la'aviv, and he said to his father, Barcheni gam ani avi. Also bless me, my father.
Right. Okay. So now I want you, if you have a moment, compare these expressions of this pasuk to the expressions that the Megilla uses by Mordechai.
I see what you're saying. So it says Mordechai, he says Yizak, Yizak. In Esav it says Yitzak. Okay. Zaka, same words. Gedolah, Umara, and bitter.
Right.
Same exact words.
Right. Same exact words. So one way of understanding why this happened is that the Svarim explain that that Mordechai was a Gilgal of Yaakov Avinu, and Haman was a Gilgal of Esau. So this cry, this great bitter cry that Mordechai let out was a tikkun for the great bitter cry that Esav had let out after he realized he lost the brachas from Yitzchak Avinu. So
What do you
therefore,
mean by a tikkun?
meaning that Esav cried bitterly and greatly over the loss of the brachas, right? So that was in a certain way something that Yaakov Avinu caused Esav that pain, right? So correspondingly, Mordechai received that pain in a correspondingly way in return, and that more or less settled the score in terms of that pain. Let's put it this way: to some extent, it settled the score. Whether it's much it settled the score, I don't know, but it settled the score in some way to that cause of bitter cry that Esav experienced at the loss of the brachas.
Does that mean that Yaakov, it was questionable what Yaakov did, that he had to do a tikkun for it?
No, there was no question what he had to do. As matter, he was listening to his mother. His mother, Rivka, told him to go and get the brachas. He was not willing, if you remember, at all to do it. He was afraid of getting a klala from his father Yitzchak. He didn't want to do it, but she was commanding him, and therefore he had no choice but to follow his mother's instructions. So he was completely blameless, so to speak, for what happened. Nevertheless, since he was instrumental in what happened, you can't escape some type of replication and consequence because of what happened.
But Rebbe, but we've learned before that if you do a deed, you did the deed, no matter who sent you. You're doing the deed.
That's right. Exactly. Even though you may not be willing and wanting to do the deed, but if the deed was done and there was consequences, so ultimately you have to take responsibility to some extent or another because of it. Exactly right.
Unfortunately, that approach was used. We were just following orders, which was a very terrible approach. So the scoffers use that as an example that the Jews are not reliable, fortunately.
So one second. I didn't understand you. Say, want to repeat that again, Rav Aaron? Exactly what you were saying?
The scoffers, those who do not believe, they say, you see, Yaakov Avinu was a fraud. That's why all the Jews are a fraud. They use that incident to show that the Jews are not reliable.
Yeah, that's a Gemara in the Avodah Zarah. The Gemara in the Avodah Zarah explains that. Yeah, very good. Exactly. Right. Of course. Yeah.
Where is that?
The Gemara in the Avodah Zarah.
Yeah. You know where it is?
Yeah, well, I can tell you in a minute. Hold on 1 second. And then when I think I'll probably take a break, but I'll tell you give me a moment, I'll tell you where the Gemara is. Not mistaken, it's in the first parak. Hold on. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, Daf Yud Aleph Amid, Daf Yud Aleph Amid base. Yeah, Daf Yud Amid base. Yeah, there's a brisa there. Yeah, there's a brisa there, and Gemara Naboros Yuda Aleph Amid base. Achas, there's Yesh Lehem, Amarav Yehuda Amashmul. Odecheres, Yesh Lehem. There's a holiday. There's a holiday that they celebrate in Rome. Achas V'Shivin Shana. There's a holiday that the Romans observe once every 70 years. Mevim Adam Shalem. They bring a person who's a healthy person. Umarchivin Osa Al Adam Chigar. And they put on him, on this, you take a healthy person, healthy, strong, robust person, and they put a person who's a lame, put a lame person on top of his shoulder. Umavishan also big the Adam Marishon. And they put the clothes of Adam Marishon on top of him. They have them wear the clothes of Adam Marishon. And they would put on him the skin that was peeled off of the face of Rabbi Ishmael. With Tolale, it's a Makel, Zuze, and they would put a coin around his neck and hang it there from a necklace. And okay, then they would do they would line all the roads in the marketplaces, and they would make an announcement before him. Kiri Palaster Ahmed Mara Zaifne, that the lying scoundrel of our father's brother, in reference to Yaakov Avinu, Chami Delo Chami Velo Chamet, goes on. Okay, it's a whole once in 70 years procession that they would have, that as Rashi explains, Cheshbon HaKatzitz Kazav Nevuos Yaakov Shekar Levanov La'achros Haim. Okay, Rashi explains it. There's talk when the Romans would make a joke out of the fact that Yaakov Avinu had stolen the brachas. So it was a very degrading experience. That Yaakov Shirima as Esav Likakes brachasai. That Rashi explains the whole point was to reenact and criticize and make a foolish Yaakov Avinu from the fact that he went and he stole the brachas from Esav. So yeah, not a very nice experience. It doesn't speak very highly of. So yeah, but nevertheless, he was following the orders of his mother,
But I heard a vort, Rabbi, that said that there was a modicum of improper attitude on the part of Yaakov Avinu, that if you look at the objections that he raises when he says, maybe my father will figure it out, maybe he'll discover that I'm an imposter. uh, he never says anything about the fact that how can I do this to my brother? He should have said something to Rivka Imenu about while he's objecting and saying, "What about this, mother? What about this?" He should have said, "What about the fact that I'm hurting my brother?" And it was for that reason that he's faulted.
Possibly, again, I don't know if it was possibly. Don't forget that the Esav had already sold him the Bechor. The Bechor already belonged to Yaakov Avinu, right? But it's a whole. You have to understand the whole decision of Yitzchak to give a bracha. Obviously, he wanted to give the brachas to Esav. He told Esav to go out and get the food for him because he wants to give him a bracha. So, but then, nevertheless, you have to understand what was Rivka didn't make this up on her own. She was told this through Nevuah, right? She didn't dream this up on her own. She understood that she's given a Nevuah to understand that Yitzchak is about to give brachas to Esav. So that was a signal for her to intervene. Right? So one of the more complicated topics
I don't want that sweater. It's
in the
not nice.
history of
I want to take a different sweater.
our forefathers. Okay, almost 10 o'clock. Well, okay, so let's take a break and we'll pick up in a few minutes with this year in Mishnah Berurah, Mitzvah Shem.
Thank you.
Better sweater.
Okay, Roy, have a good afternoon. Hope to see you tomorrow, and we'll see
You
you.